What is going on, everybody? My name is Jeff, aka the Redbeard Boss on YouTube, and I'm going to give you a little review of the board game The Others. This is what I've been working on a lot lately. It's a big box, big board game. Comes with like 47 miniatures. You can probably see them right there. So anyway, I'm not going to show you everything. You can go online and check it out. You can go on my Instagram and see some of the ones I've painted. I have completed this full set, and I have completed almost the entire Gamma Team expansion. So to start off, we finished Gloomhaven, and I was looking for another board game to play after 40K or Age of Sigmar earlier in the Saturday afternoon, and then Saturday night we usually play something a little less, lower model count or whatever, like a board game or a campaign game. So what I did is I was following Cool Mini or Not on Kickstarter, and they were running a Cthulhu Rising Kickstarter, so I ended up backing that, and then talking about that Kickstarter game I backed. A guy at the game store who works there said, "Oh, that sounds like The Others." And I was like, well, I don't know what that is. Turns out, Cool Mini or Not already made a board game called The Others, and it is about stopping the apocalypse of the 7 deadly sins. Basically, the Hell Club is summoning one of the 7 deadly sins to destroy the last city, and you are a team of 7 heroes preventing that from happening. It is super fun. First off, I highly recommend it, and I recommend it for a couple reasons. So one, I bought it because I bought it on eBay. I bought somebody's Kickstarter. It's actually quite a few years old, like 3 or 4 years old, I think. Not quite a few, but maybe that's 2016, so almost 3 years old. So, and I found out about it, in the last 6 months. So I went on eBay and I ended up buying the Kickstarter, the entire thing off somebody else. They probably made some money. I was okay with it because I sold my High Elf army, and I basically just took that money and put it into this. And all the expansions, which I have over there. This comes with 2 sins. There's 5 more sin expansions. There's 4 more team expansions, plus the Sons of Ragnarok, which is another hero, a 7-man hero team. There's an Apocalypse expansion, and some counters and exclusive stuff from the Kickstarter. But so there's a lot of stuff to get if you want. So we just finished Gloomhaven, and we were looking for another board game. I did not know what this would be like. I bought it and was thinking, it looked like a cool kind of campaign, dungeon crawl, city crawl board game, and that's not the case at all. This actually turns out to be 2 ways to play, kind of. There's no real campaign mechanic, although you could keep track of who's winning and who's losing, and it's always fun to rub it in your friends' faces. But this game has more of a, it could be competitive. So it's an all versus 1 game. One player is running a sin, one of the 7 deadly sins. The other player or players are running the hero team. And so it is a 1 versus all. I felt like in a 1 versus 1 or 1 versus 2, it's a little more competitive. Like you feel like you're really trying to strategize. In a 1 versus 3 or 1 versus 4, it felt more like hanging out and having fun and laughing that your monsters are eating your friends' heroes, or vice versa, right? And people saying, how unfair your dice are, which is just classic gaming, right? So if you're looking for a game to like throw down with your buddies, like something, it's not super hard to set up, and we haven't played all the missions or nothing yet. They are difficult because all of us somewhat have a level of strategy, I guess, in gaming built into our brains. So we can't, I don't know how you would really go easy on somebody if you're playing the bad guys. unless you're just purposely throwing the game. And it's very difficult for the heroes, although they have won many times. So it's kind of fun that it's been going back and forth. I would say maybe it's about 50-50 at this point. But we have not played all that much, maybe like 12, 15 times, something like that. So basically what I did is I painted the whole set so we could play with a fully painted set. And I think that added to the experience in the very beginning. It wasn't like just struggling to learn the rules and battle through, but also we had all the miniatures fully painted. And I think that added just to the overall initial impression. So one reason I would highly recommend this is a game where you and your friends, or you and a friend, can kind of battle against each other. If you're familiar with the board game Queen's Gambit, which is a really, really good Star Wars game. I think it's like $300 on eBay because it's so desired. It's very, very good. That game is like super fun if you don't feel like playing a game of 40K or feeling a game of Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, or Shadespire, I guess, whatever. You set up that board game, it's a little more simple, you and your friend throw down, play a game. Maybe you have a couple friends, you guys do a little tournament, right? Single elimination or whatever, best of 3. This could be the same way. You and one friend could sit down and just alternate. You play the monsters, they play the monsters. You switch the monsters. There's 2. So it's very fun for that reason. Now, a couple things why this is not like Gloomhaven, which is what I was kind of looking for. And it's not a campaign because it doesn't really carry game to game. But so I got all the expansions, which is a lot of expansions, like 8 other boxes. And each box adds something else to play with while replacing something in the box. So even though I own all 7 deadly sins, I have not seen in any moment where I would be playing with more than 1 at a time. This comes with 2, so there's 5 others that you can purchase. It is fun switching between. Right now I have Sloth and Pride coming here. I have Greed fully painted, and I'm almost done with Envy. And I can show you the monster. It's really cool. Super gross. It's a dark kind of horror fighting game, I guess. Everybody's corrupted as tentacles coming out of everything. So once I'm done with Envy, I'll work on maybe Wrath or Gluttony or Lust, right? Which is cool. But when I use Envy, I'm not using Pride. I'm not using Sloth. I'm not using Greed. So even when, say, I have all 7 sins done, all that is giving whoever picks that to play the bad guys just more options on what they pick. Same with the heroes. Once it's all said and done, I think I'll have around 30 something heroes, 35 heroes maybe. Let's say 35. I haven't added it up. But you only play with 7 at a time, and you make your team of 7. So even though you have 35 to choose from at any given game, you would just play with 7 at a time. So for that, I'm not sure you need all the expansions. They add a lot of extra dice, which are helpful, just meaning you have more of the dice to roll. They add extra upgrade cards, and in this game when you play missions, there's a couple different maps to build. You can choose map A or map B, and the expansions also add more map styles. So it'd be the same mission, but very different maps with different tokens on them and stuff, and it does add to more replayability. And because it's more of like a battle against your friends, you don't need all the expansions to add like a ton of new content. It's more you add all the expansions to have more options to vary the fight, right? If you played just Pride every single time and your friends played the 7 heroes in this box every single time, could get a little stale. Maybe. It's still pretty fun. So, and there's definitely some strategy, which gets your brain, working in that way that we enjoy as gamers. So I would highly recommend this if you're looking for a game to throw down and battle with. If you have like a board game night and you want to play against some friends, it's probably a little better for people familiar with how gaming works, but I think people who are not familiar could learn. And, as long as you play smart or maybe help your friends on your team play smarter, it's a really good time. If you were going to get any expansions, like the Delta team, Beta team, Gamma team, whatever all those are, there's like 4 of them. They come with a couple acolytes, which are like the little minion monsters that you add in, and about 5 heroes. So any of those would be good to add 5 more heroes or so to your pool, and that way you can start switching up the team. It won't be this exact 7 every time. If you wanted the bare minimum, I would get this set, the main set. Then I would pick up the Sons of Ragnarok, which is a 7-man biker gang. So you would have the full 7-man team in here, the full 7-man biker team, 2 Sins, and 3 different acolytes to choose from, which I didn't really explain to you, but these little acolytes down here, basically they're like allies to the monster. So you could be Pride with the hobos, or Sloth with the nuns, or Pride with the nuns, or Greed with the firemen, right? And you pick one. And once again, you only pick one, so owning them all doesn't just say pile in more into the game. It just gives you more options when you play over and over again. And at this point, with having a few options, it's fun to just kind of randomly pick or switch each time, just to keep it moving or keep it interesting. So pick up the box game if you like these sort of things. You can watch playthroughs online. They're worth it. It looks, they seem like they're having fun. It's a cool mini or not game, so the minis are good. The rules are simple but fun, as I've noticed from Massive Darkness and now this. Pick up the Sons of Ragnarok, which is the little biker gang. That way you have a full 14 heroes, because you'll have the 7-man team here, 7-man biker gang, and then infinite combinations of mixing and matching those teams. Not really, but a lot of combos, right? Mixing. And then, if you like it at that point, basically if you like this and then you added the team and you like that, then just add, one more Sin. Go on to your game store and look at the back of the box and see which miniatures you want to paint. And I think that would, add a lot of value to your game. I have a rule with this game that I'm playing it fully painted. I wish I would have done that with Massive Darkness, because now I'm so far behind on painting Massive Darkness miniatures, and we're already over halfway through the campaign, although we have stopped and we went on to play Gloomhaven, so we're going to go back to that at some point, and I'll work on painting it then. So that's it. 10 out of 10 for a fun game to battle with your friends. Both sides totally capable of winning. It seems like if the monster player has a little bit of luck, hot rolls, he could definitely crush. But there's also plenty of times that we've won the game as the heroes on the last 1 or 2 rolls, because we had hot rolls. And that's always exciting when it comes down to that close. The game also has a built-in kind of timer mechanic. Basically, the monsters get more powerful the slower. Basically, every round they can get more powerful. And that helps encourage the players to not lollygag and work towards the missions. The missions are basically a tree, and you start on the top, and you have to complete that, and then it'll branch into 2. You pick which one you want to do, and then the whole team has to do that one, and then it branches sometimes, and then you just work your way down. So there is, one time you play, you can go this way, one time you can go that way. But, so there's some more replayability there. So here's the others, so cool mini or not. I think it's a pretty good game.